right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. Let's get straight into it here. Let's not waste any time. The first story that I have for you guys today, Big Ramy's latest physique update. Now, this update of Ramy comes courtesy of his coach slash guru slash whatever you want to call him, Chad Nichols, a.k.a. the Diet Doc, on Instagram. So this is a back lat spread, a rear lat spread, and this was 8 weeks out from this year's Olympia, so about 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. And the weight in this photo, apparently, is 322 pounds, and the caption also said, "Winter is here to stay." Now, the first thing that I think probably jumps out to a lot of people and jumped out to me was the weight that they posted in the caption there. 322 pounds. It sounds like a lot, but you got to keep in mind, it's Big Ramy. There's been points where they claimed Big Ramy was heavier than 350 pounds in the offseason. So this 322 is nothing crazy, and actually I would say is probably pretty typical for Ramy, and this might sound kind of crazy to say, but I think at 8 weeks out, which is 2 full months before the Olympia, 322 is probably a little bit on the smaller side for Ramy, which is, like I said, crazy to say. There's been Olympias in the past where I'm pretty sure Ramy was 320 the week of the show, or like 315 the day before the show at like the press conference. So I saw some people commenting and sending this to me saying, what, is he going to be too heavy? Is he going to be able to come in shape if he's this heavy at that point in his prep? And I think, honestly, while it sounds crazy, 300-plus pound bodybuilder is crazy. He's Big Ramy for a reason. That's his name for a reason. And I think 322 for him at 2 months out, not too big of a deal. It's not like he's going to be too heavy. Now, that being said, looking at the actual content of the picture here, you got the rear lat spread. The thing that I'm noticing, and the thing that I've noticed in the training videos that he had posted and the other updates that he had posted recently, was the vascularity that he has. The vascularity that you can see all throughout his triceps. You can see a little bit in his forearms, which obviously is one of the indicators of someone being in really good shape, as you would expect him to be, because 8 weeks out, it's close. You would expect to see Ramy looking good by now, so this is a good sign. His back overall looks good. It looks wide, as it always does. It looks relatively detailed for this point in his prep. But of course, we have to acknowledge here that this picture is heavily filtered, it looks like. It's black and white, which is always a little bit off-putting when it comes to physique update. So not the best, clearest physique update. And I mean, look, the thing is with Ramy, we don't really get to see as much in terms of physique updates from Ramy. Even though he's Olympia champ, we don't really talk about him as much because he doesn't post as many updates, so there's not as much to talk about. So I wanted to spend a little bit more time on this update because they're very few and far between. But overall, in my opinion, I think at the end of the day, he looks like he's on track. I wasn't like completely blown away by that physique update, but I also didn't see anything to criticize about it. I mean, it looks like he's on track. I don't think the weight was too heavy, the 322. From what you can see, I don't think he looks like he's off. He just looks on track. And like I always say, the big question with Ramy, when we're looking at physique updates, when we're talking about Ramy in the Olympia lead-up, is he going to be able to nail the conditioning consistently? He pretty well nailed it last year, the best version of Ramy we'd ever seen. But his entire career, we kind of said, he's Big Ramy. We know he's big. He needs to do something different. He needs to come in shredded. And his whole career, he's had trouble doing that. So the main question, and the main thing I'm looking at when people are asking me, what are my Olympia predictions? Do you think Ramy can repeat? The main thing I'm looking at is, will he be able to duplicate that conditioning or do better? Because his track record has been inconsistent, so that's what I'm looking at. For Ramy to win this year again, I think he needs to do that. He needs to be as good as last year or better to hold on to the title. So that real question is, has he figured out the formula? The formula to be able to do this more than once, to replicate that formula. Has his guru, Chad Nichols, figured his physique out to get him where he needs to be time and time again? That is the question. And I guess only time will tell. Now, next up in the news, let's shift gears a little bit to classic physique. Classic physique specifically at the Arnold Classic. Logan Franklin posting a posing update with the caption, "Working on something special for the Arnold Sports." Now, granted, it is just a brief clip. He only hits a side chest and then that famous twisted Arnold back double bicep there. But Logan looks fantastic. He just took second place at the Texas Pro to Robert Timms, a.k.a. Mr. Classic Physique on Instagram. And unfortunately, because of that, he missed his Olympia qualification this year. And unlike men's open bodybuilding at the Arnold Classic, Classic Physique, every placing, including first, will count towards next year's 2022 Mr. Olympia. So even if Logan were able to pull off the Hail Mary and win the Arnold Classic, that still wouldn't be enough to get him to the Olympia this year. So for sure, we won't see Logan on the Olympia stage, no matter what happens at the Arnold. So some people were asking me that, and I wanted to clarify that. My understanding is the only person from the Arnold Classic that will make it to the Olympia is the winner of men's open bodybuilding. No other placers in any other divisions. That's my understanding of the Arnold. But Logan looks fantastic, and I think he's going to be a true talent in Classic Physique that's missed at the Olympia this year. Him and Steve Lorius both. I wish we could see them on the Olympia stage and give them both the opportunity to improve upon their placings this season and the packages that they brought this season so far. But that being said, I think Logan has made some really significant improvements during the time that he has been a pro in Classic Physique. And I think even if he qualifies early by winning the Arnold, that would give him an advantage in the sense that he would have the whole year to prep for next year's Olympia and make more improvements to his physique between now and then. So there's also that possibility. But like I mentioned in the last video, the Arnold Classic Physique lineup is amazing. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a miniature Olympia. Just like men's open bodybuilding looks like it's shaping up to be as well. Now, speaking of Classic Physique, we've got to mention the reigning, defending Classic Physique Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead, posting another physique update in his garage, but more importantly, in the Goonlight. A twisted back double bicep very similar to the one that Logan Franklin just hit in the previous story. And the caption there was interesting, even more interesting than I think the physique update was. He says, "Hope you're not still playing catch-up, because this is a whole new game." Now, this could be interpreted many number of ways, but I would interpret this as being directed at Breon Ainsley. Breon, of course, went from beating Chris at the Olympia to taking second to Chris at the Olympia to taking third behind Terrence and Chris at the Olympia, slipping in placing. So he would need to catch up significantly this year to even be competitive with Chris. Now, a lot of people consider Chris Bumstead's physique to be the changing of the guard, the new standard in Classic Physique. This is what they want in the division. And admittedly, a very different physique than Breon. So that could be what he's referencing with the last part of that. This is a whole new game now. This is a whole new standard. And Breon, who was his main rival, is still playing catch-up. That's the way that I interpret it, but I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And also let me know what you guys think, I forgot to say this earlier, about Big Ramy and his chances at defending and repeating the Olympia title this year. Him and Chris both. What do you guys think? Will they both defend and repeat? Or will there possibly be a new champion in both divisions? All right, now the final story that I have for you guys today. Hadi Choopan, the latest physique update from Hadi, posted by his best friend here, Parsifar Mahdi. Now, this is the guy that we got a lot of the physique updates of Hadi from during last year's Olympia prep. Now, Hadi posts a lot of physique updates. He posts a lot of videos, a lot of posing videos, a lot of training videos, but it's hard to tell whether or not those videos are recent. Now, this video, if you translate the caption, it says, "Do you know bodybuilding like this 2 months before the match?" So I'm guessing this is supposed to be 2 months out from the Olympia, 8 weeks. So the same as Big Ramy's physique update. Now, I honestly believe that Hadi Choopan can win the Olympia one day. I think he will win the Olympia one day. I think he's one of the best bodybuilders, right? Well, it's not a matter of opinion. He is. He's a top Olympian. He's one of the best bodybuilders in the world right now. But I think of guys that actually have potential to win an Olympia title in the near future that have not won an Olympia title yet, Hadi Choopan is a guy that just has it. He's got that freak factor. He's got that wow factor. He brings that conditioning that makes your eyes just drawn to Hadi because he looks that good. In this video, the reason why I wanted to include it is it looks like he's already in really good shape. Look at his serratus muscle. Look at his abs. Look at the feathering and striations that he already has at what, again, is supposedly 8 weeks out from the big show, 8 weeks out from the Olympia. The guy looks unreal. So if this is recent, I think it looks very good for Hadi, and I'm actually really impressed. If it is 8 weeks out, I think based on this, he looks like he's already leaner than Ramy, but I guess we'll see. Hadi is the guy that I'm really watching in the next couple of years, even this year. He's a guy that can win this show. A lot of people write him off, maybe because he's not from the U.S., maybe because he doesn't speak as good of English, maybe because he's not as accessible to the mainstream U.S. fans, whatever it is. As a bodybuilder, as a pure physique, Hadi Choopan can win the Olympia. And I think one of these years in the near future, he's going to catch people off guard, and he's either going to be runner-up or he's going to come out and win the show. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, in fact, enjoy it, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.